Yo, what up guys, this is your boy here, Judai Yuki, and today I'm very excited because we're going to finally introduce a new Arc 5 character onto the channel. A new Arc 5 character deck that we haven't really had on the channel yet. A lot of Arc 5 decks are coming for the next couple months. So as you guys can see here, we got Yuzu Hiragi, and this is the nice pretty little mat that I created for her deck. It came out very nice, awesome melodious monsters, and the colors and everything are just beautiful, just nice. This will be up for sale also in the future. I'm gonna be working out deals in the future so that way all my fans could go like to a website to buy my custom made mats. No promises, I gotta see if it works. I'm trying to make sure that there's no legal issues before I do that. I want to make sure I'm clean so I don't get sued or anything like that. But yeah, all that in the future, I'll let you guys know about that. But for now, yeah, this is the Yuzu deck profile. So let's just get started. Start off with, we have her ace monster Mizarda, the Melodious Maestra. Then we got Elegy, the Melodious Diva. We got I think it's Sophia, the Melodious Maestra. We got two Sonata, the Melodious Divas. Yes, Yuzu actually has two in her deck, which is pretty cool. And she does special summon herself when you control Melodious and give them 500 attacks. So if you have two on the field, that's an extra 1,000, and you can special summon two, so you can make it easier for you to fuse. We'll get to that later. Then we got two Arias. She also has two Arias, which are her two main monsters in her deck. This card is extremely defensive. Its anime effect is completely different from its real effect. Its new effect is more stalled. It gets special summoned. Melodious monsters you control cannot be targeted by card effects and stuff like that, and for attacks. So they turned into more of a stall type of deck, which is good for competitive play. And in the anime, it was like more of a burn effect. If she attacked and didn't deal damage, you would take like 600 points of damage. It was more burn oriented. Yeah. Two Serenade. She only has one of these, but the thing with Yuzu is she doesn't have 40 cards, so I had to add a copy of at least one or two of her monsters, so that way we could fill in the space, and I didn't want to add other stuff that weren't melodious into the deck. So we got two Serenade, and she's good. It's a tribute for Mozarta, Sophia, or Elegy. She's treated as two tributes and stuff like that, so that's why I added a second one of that. She has three cannons, which are really good. It special summons herself while you control another melodious monster. I think you can only activate that once per turn, and then you could change the battle position of a Melodious. Alright, then we got Opera, the Melodious Diva, a level 4 monster with 2300 attacks, so a really good beat stick. If you draw that early on, it's good, and it protects, if you use her as fusion material, it protects them from being destroyed by card effects. Then we got Solo, the Melodious Songstress. If it's destroyed, special summon the Melodious from your deck. Really powerful card. Then we got one of the main cards of the deck, Soprano, the Melodious Songstress. She used this for the first time against her duel against, I think her name was Julia or something, the Gem Beast girl, and sorry, not the Gem Beast girl, the Gem Knight girl, and this allows you to fusion summon without polymerization or fusion. We got Tam Tam, we got Score. This is a very powerful card because if you're at a weak spot, or if your Melodious monsters are attacking or being attacked, you can discard this card, and it's kind of the opposite of honest. Instead of gaining attack, your opponent's monster loses all their attack points, so even your weakest monster could run over like a Blue Eyes or Obelisk the Torment or whatever. Like your Melodious monsters will be able to kill anything with this card, so really powerful. Next, moving out from the Melodious monsters, we got Crystal Rose, which she achieved when she defeated the Gem Knight girl. I'm sorry, I forgot her name. Wasn't her name Masumi? Yeah, Masumi. I think she got it from Masumi, and this is good. You can treat this as any Melodious or Gem Knight monster from your deck. You send it to the graveyard. It's like a Prisma, pretty much. And then we got Freya, Spirit of Victory. She never used this card in the duel, but it was actually shown in her deck. When it fell down on the ground, it showed a couple cards, and you'll see in the deck later that there are cards that she has but were never used. Alright, so that's the monsters. Next we're going to move into the spells. So for the spells, we got 2 polymerizations. You need your 2 polys, and she actually has 2 polys, so that's really great. You need that in order to run a fusion deck, at least 2. If you've learned anything from Judai, you need at least 2 polys. We got Defusion. We got Refusion. She actually has that too. So it's a monster reborn for fusions, or rather a premature burial for fusions. Then we got this spell card called Ostinato. Now this card has not been released yet in the TCG, I think. It's an OCG exclusive at the moment, and this pretty much allows you to fusion summon a Melodious monster by using 2 monsters from your deck as fusion materials, which is good, really good. And then, but the only downside is the fusion monster dies at the end phase, but at least you get to special summon those materials back from the graveyard. So there's cool combos you could do with that. With Sonata and Aria, fuse those 2. Summon one of the fusions, and then at the end they come back, special summon. Now they can't be attacked or targeted by card effects, and there's more with Elegy and stuff. So there's a lot of combos with just this one card. Really powerful. Then we got Fortissimo. Originally this wasn't a fusion card in the anime, but they gave it a secondary effect where you can fusion summon for a Melodious fusion monster. So it's really good. It gives like your Melodious 600 attack during either player's turn, and then allows you to fuse and stuff like that. We got First Movement Solo. Really cool card. You can special summon any level 4 lower Melodious from your deck, which, you know, a couple of them work when they're special summoned and blah blah blah. So it's a really good card. We got Pianissimo. A really good defensive card, protects from battle or card effects, but it decreases the monster's attack. But it's still worth it, especially if you combo that off with Fusion Monster. I think Bloom Prima. Yeah. Then we got Saint Instrument. It's a equip spell card. You equip it to a Melodious monster. The equipped monster is the only one that can be attacked, and it also has this really cool, unique effect where if either player takes burn damage, you can make the equipped monster gain attack points equal to that burn damage and then reduce that damage to 0. So this could really help you in a tight spot in case if you're facing a burn deck, and power up your monster to extreme attack points. We got Slow Tempo. This is kind of like a stunish type card. Monsters cannot attack during the turn they are normal summoned or set. That tops off all the fusion related cards and all the Melodious related cards. And now we're going to go into generic fairy support that she actually had in her deck. So she has the Sanctuary in the Sky and the Fountain in the Sky. This was actually shown when her, she fell on the ground and her deck fell. These 2 cards were actually in her deck, along with Cards of the Sky and Cestus Dagla, or however you pronounce that. So these are just generic fairy support that they just gave her, to give her that nice little boost. And they're really good cards. But yeah, so you guys can definitely add those, because like you won't have enough cards for 40. And then the final spell card is Cyclone, or MST as people know it, and that's the spell cards. Now to end it off, we're gonna do the trap cards. Alright, we got Melodious Melody of Divine Punishment. It's a burn card. Your opponent takes 800 for each Melodious monster you control. Melodious Rhythm Change. Target a Melodious monster on the field, return to the hand, and if you do special summon another one from your hand, you can use this to pull off a lot of combos with the special summoning stuff, as well as summon your ace by just returning one from your field to the hand. It's a trap, so you can use it during your opponent's turn and dodge some targeting effects or just attacks in general. So it's really good, really great. Then we got Melodious Illusion, really powerful card. It protects one Melodious you control this turn from. It would be unaffected by your opponent's spells and traps, and it can make a second attack, so you could go for OTKs with this and protect your Melodious monsters from your opponent's filthy back row and whatnot. Fusion Samsara, this card, I wouldn't recommend necessarily using it in this deck unless you're specifically facing a Fusion user, because this is a card to be used against Fusion users. So, I mean, you could possibly take this card out, put it on the side, and replace it for something else, because you don't need it that much unless you're facing a Fusion user. And then we got Miraculous Descent, another generic fairy trap card that they gave her along with Beckoning Light. This is actually a really good card. This has helped out many times. Discard your hand if you have a terrible hand, and add as many Melodious fairy monsters from your graveyard to your hand, and you could restock your hand with cards you might actually need rather than the crap cards that you have in your hand at the time. And this, let's say you're ace monster, Mozarta, gets banished, you can special summon it from the banish zone. So this comes in really clutch when your opponent tries to banish your stuff. Yeah. And then finally we got the fusions. We got Shuberta. Shuberta, the Melodious Maestra, really powerful card. She could become a 3000 beater. You could use any 2 Melodious monsters to summon her, so she's really easy. We got Bloom Diva, the Melodious Maestra, the most powerful fusion that she owns, that she used against Masumi, and she can't be destroyed by battle, can't be destroyed by card face. You take no battle damage. When you attack a special summon monster, that monster, after damage calculation, your opponent takes damage equal to the difference between this card's attack and that special summon monster. That's why she has such low attack. I believe it's like 1000. So that way your opponent will take the difference and then that monster gets destroyed. So it's extremely powerful and hard to get rid of off of the field unless you have something like Grand Mole or something to remove her or banish her off the field, because you can't destroy her by battle or card effects, so that becomes tricky. And the final fusion, we got Bloom Prima, the Melodious Choir. This is a really good OTK card. She could become a really powerful beat stick. You could fuse any Melodious Maestro monster with any one or more Melodious monsters, so you could stack a bunch of them. You could fuse, like if you have Mozarta in your hand plus like 3 other ones, you could fuse all 4 of them, and then she gains like 300 attack for, yeah, I think 300 attack for each fusion material, so she'll become a really powerful monster, and she can attack twice during each battle phase. And then if she's destroyed, you could add a Melodious, I think, from the graveyard back to your hand, so she allows you to recycle. So yeah, that's pretty much her deck. Her side deck is really simple. It's just 2 cards that I recommend you guys use in her deck, and it's Celestial Transformation and Valhalla Hall of the Fallen. Normally I don't like adding cards that weren't originally used, but since she doesn't have much variety in her deck, because like this is literally all that she has in her deck. She has nothing else because she didn't duel much after the first half of the Yu-Gi-Oh series. So after that, she has nothing. So it makes it more complicated to build the deck in different ways, and because she doesn't have anything really other than what you guys have seen here. This is all she has, and that's the problem with a lot of Arc 5 decks, is a lot of their decks are incomplete because a lot of them didn't get a lot of screen time and all that stuff. Anyway, moving forward from that, I figured since they added so many generic fairy supports like these 2, along with all this stuff, which is interesting that they added all that, I figured why not just add these 2 in there as well. These are the last 2. I looked up all the fairy supports that has come out over the years, and these are the last 2 that they didn't add in here. So I figured why not add these. This would help speed up her deck a lot, since it revolves around special summoning certain monsters to get off their really broken, they're not broken, but they're really powerful effects and stuff like that. So just add these 2 cards. If I were going to tell you to replace something, replace Fusion Samsara, unless you're phasing a Fusion user, and replace it with I guess Celestial Transformation, and it's a quick play, so that works. And then maybe either replace let's see, maybe replace Slow Tempo or Cards of from the Sky. I know this is a draw 2 card, it's like the pot of greed of your deck, but I mean it can become kind of problemsome. My friend tried to use this deck and he had a hard time using this card because yeah, you draw 2, but then you can't special summon and you can't conduct your battle phase. So like it's like you draw 2, but for what? You don't get to do anything. The whole point of drawing 2 is to use those 2 cards to come back. So I'll leave it up to you guys whether or not you want to take that out for Valhalla. I mean, it might be a better choice, but like I said, it's up to you guys. So yeah guys, that's the deck profile for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Yuzu Hiragi's deck. It's really fun to use, really stally, really powerful. You guys will have a lot of fun with it. Yeah, just enjoy it. I think next I'm either gonna do Gongenzika's deck or Sawatari's deck. If not that, then maybe a Kawareiji's deck. One of those 3 decks is coming next. I still have to figure it out, see if there's some cards I still need to buy or create for this stuff right now. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for everything. Gotcha!